It's how many pay-per-view buys do you think that fight would be worth?
1.5.
Now? Yeah, maybe
1.5.
more. Maybe more now. Maybe more now.
Because let me ask you this, Joe.
What?
Let's say Nate fights the winner of Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, and they're the main event pay-per-view. How many pay-per-view buys does Nate Diaz do without Conor?
Well, not as many. Not even close.
Not even close, right?
It's a big Conor thing, but the big fight for Conor is Nate. Like if Conor fought Kevin Lee, how many pay-per-views would he get?
Over a million.
He might. You're right. You're right.
You look up all Conor's fights. He's never done less than $1 million ever.
You're right.
So he's the Floyd Mayweather of MMA now. Yeah, but I think Nate, rightfully so, because that fight's going to be the biggest pay-per-view of all time. I really do. I think the Trilogy can be because of
for MMA.
For MMA, because of the Conor's, right? He's bigger than ever, biggest combat sports fighter in history.
Oh, he clipped him.
Go ahead and finish him off.
Hurt him.
But with Nate, I think that fight that's the thing with this fight, and that's why I don't think you're going to see it happen very soon, because both Nate and Conor realize how much power they have, and you can't just go with the old rules anymore. Like the Conor is changing the dynamics of the fight game for the better for the fighters.
Yeah,
it's a great thing.
It is a great thing. I just wonder, like, how much Nate can actually get. You know?
Definitely, because what they say, I think report said between the two fights he made around $2.5 million to fight him twice.
No, he made $2 million plus to fight him both times. Both times, so it's $4 million.
So $4 million total.
That's what I'm reading. I did not talk to Nate. I did not talk to
Dana. Read this. Yeah, so I thought he made two. Maybe you might be right. Maybe I misquoted that. So maybe it's 2 and 2 or 2.5, 2.5. Either way, so say he made $4 million.
Right.
There's no way in the world you can say, "Hey Nate, fight Conor in the biggest fight of all time, Trilogy. Conor's going to get $40 million. You're going to get 2.5 again." There's no way that happens. Both guys realize the magnitude of this fight.
And he made $4 million in a year. So, like, how much money does he have left over? He probably got $1 million plus just sitting in the bank, doing nothing.
So what do you know what I'm saying? So the dynamics have shifted towards the fighters for the first time. Now, if you're the UFC, how do you make this work with Conor? Because he's not fighting guys anymore for $5-10 million. You can't when you have over $100 million in the bank. You're the biggest star of all time.
What do you think the most Conor's made in a UFC fight is?
10 mil, probably.
You think so?
10, 12 mil max.
So now you think he can get probably like 30.
At least.
Right?
At least.
Depends on how many pay-per-view buys.
Otherwise, why are you doing it?
What if he gets what if Nate and Conor gets 3 million pay-per-views?
It's not out of the question.
It's not.
It's a stretch, but not out of the question.
It's a stretch. But if Nate can talk the right amount of shit, and people get excited about it. Honestly, right now, for Conor, what else is there that's even close?
As far as fight?
In MMA?
Well,
what else is even close?
The only argument is you can say Conor's the only draw. He can fight Billy from Afghanistan and still get 2 million pay-per-view buys or break $1 million.
You let Conor fight Paulie Malignaggi in Dublin.
See, if I'm Conor and I have McGregor Promotions, I'm going, wait a second. I'm going to fight this monster Nate Diaz. You want to pay me $10 million? You wear Reeboks? Or I'm just going to go to Dublin. Me and Paulie sell this 70,000 stadium out. I'm just going to take all of it. UFC goes, whoa, hey, chill.
Can't do that. He's still got some sort of a. They must have some sort of
coming up.
Well, they have some sort of a deal for boxing too.
McGregor Promotions, I would assume, is Conor's thing.
Really?
You think he's in cahoots with the
UFC? I would think he has to be. I don't think he would make a deal with McGregor Promotions. I think he made a deal with...
Think about this, Joe. So let's say Conor and Dana have a deal with the McGregor Promotions. And they're like, all right, your next fight, we're going to co-promote with you. Well, how's that going to work now? So then you're going to promote this huge fight, and Nate's like, hold up. If he's going to make all this money, they're like, I know, we're in cahoots with him. That's the way it works.
You mean for the UFC?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it would co-promote for the UFC.
You don't think so?
No, but I think it would co-promote if you had a Paulie Malignaggi boxing match in Dublin. In fucking Dublin.
God.
You hear me, Brendan?
Do you want to see that?
You've been to... I want to see everything, dude. I want to see Snail's Race.
It's so ridiculous. The fight is the Nate Diaz fight. That's the fight.
That's the fight. But
is it the fight as far as a businessman? Because if Conor learned anything from Floyd, you know that when you fight Floyd, Floyd's the businessman. He's his own promoter. He's everything. Conor has his own promotional now. He's the businessman now. So Conor's going, listen, What are we doing here? What do you guys want to do?
Maybe if the UFC contract that Conor has runs out, maybe they make some new crazy, ridiculously lucrative deal.
Oh, that contract doesn't matter if it's out or not. The game has changed.
Interesting.
Yeah, you don't. There's no way you'd keep going with that current contract. Also, Dana White. I don't know about the guys at WWE, but Dana White's not stupid enough to let Conor do all this and not be involved in it. He's not even like, sure, make your own thing, man. Do your thing, buddy. There's no way.
Interesting.
I know.
Interesting.
Either way, whatever he does.
Interesting.
I know.
I would like to see him box Paulie while Nate just keeps eating tacos and going to Cabo, doing tequila shots. I
really?
Would like
That fight's going to go away.
Because it's not going to go away.
I disagree.
The fight's around the year.
You think it's so? I don't know, man. I think it.
If Nate wants to just chill and just train, have a good time, the fight's there in a year.
I don't think so.
I think
if Conor stays active, I guess with Nate, how are you going to stay in the limelight? Yeah, he's fighting Nate Diaz again. They fought over 2 years ago.
Conor
the hype's not there.
Paulie Malignaggi in a boxing match in Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah, I'm watching that shit.
He has a legit possibility to get a win over a two-time world champion. Whew. In the second boxing fight ever. 2 boxing fights ever, 2 world champions.
Making bank.
Come on, son.
Balling, as you say.
How much? Balling.
Stupid
How much money do you think you would get for that fight, though? Not nearly as many.
I bet more money than you'd get fighting Nate Diaz with a tougher challenge.
Right, so like, what do you think the pay-per-view would be for a Paulie Malignaggi fight? Would it even be $1 million?
For sure.
So?
Whatever. See, that's the thing. Conor could play fucking in a celebrity softball game right now. A lot of people are going to buy that bitch. You know what I'm saying? So him fighting Paulie, and there's all this heat. People are like, God, he did well against Floyd. We could see him beating Paulie. I would say at least $1 million. And then if it's your own promotion, what do you make? 30?
Right.
30, 40 mil?
Right. Interesting. Bring your balls, Conor.
Bring your balls.
Sparring with Conor, like he did 2 12-round sparring matches with Conor, and
he did a 8-round and a 12-round.
Oh, an 8-round, 12. And Conor was, landing obviously some fucking hard shots. Just from what we know, what we definitely saw, that one straight left that fucking clanged him.
That was rough.
Right dead center in the mug, and you see the sparks fly.
But also to Paulie's defense, this is what I was telling Paulie, like, dude, let's say I'm retired. So let's say Cain Velasquez is like, hey, Schaub, I need you to help me train, man. I need you to come help give me some rounds.
That's not a free ride right there. That punch?
Fuck no.
That's not a free ride. That is
Paulie's face looking rough there.
That is your face getting crushed.
But here's the thing.
Do you think that Conor wants that fight?
I do.
You think that's a good money fight?
I do. I think it's their only fight. I think, I think it's the true winner, because those fights at 70 are toss up. 1-1 is whatever. Neither one should be fighting at 70. At 55, a trilogy fight makes sense for the belt. It'd be the biggest pay-per-view of all time. I think it's the only fight that makes sense. Tony and Kevin Lee, there's just not big enough stars to get.
He's thick. Too,
I like Kevin Lee. I like Kevin Lee. He's the complete package. He's a bad dude, but the thing is, he speaks well. He looks the part.
Talks a lot of shit.
He's great. He dresses well. Like he has all the makings of your next superstar.
Yeah, and he realizes now, especially in the Conor McGregor era, you got to talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, even Floyd said it best. Like, you just can't win fights. You got to sell yourself.
Listen, Kevin Lee is only, I think, 25.
He's young, 25 or 24.
Yeah. Find out. He's 24 or 25. Super young, right? Now, remember how brash Conor was when he first got to the UFC. Yeah. Very similar. He's like 26, I believe. Okay, so he's 24. September 4th, he's almost 25. He'll be 25 in a couple of days. He's super talented. Looks better every time you see him. So he's essentially like somewhere around Conor's age when Conor is like a year younger than Conor when Conor first burst on the scene. And Conor was nobody back then. Yep. Nobody knew who he was. I'd seen him on the internet and from fights in England, and I knew he was really talented. I actually went back and forth with him with some tweets before he got to the UFC. Yeah. So there's a few people who knew about him, but it was nothing like what you see now. Nothing, right? Kevin Lee down the road is a 155-pounder who talks a lot of shit. He's a bad motherfucker.
Looks great.
He looks great.
Speaks well.
Built like a brick shit house.
Speaks well.
Speaks well.
African-American.
Dresses well.
Check
all the boxes.
Check.
And he can fucking fight. So
that's the biggest thing.
That fight with Conor McGregor down the road, ooh.
You need more time, I hear you.
Right.
But down the road. Yeah. This is my thing for Conor.
But he could do it.
He 100%. To me, Kevin Lee's your next big thing.
And here's another one. Tony Ferguson down the road. Tony Ferguson can talk some shit too. Tony Ferguson is very smooth. Tony Ferguson is very confident,
Very
and he's
skillful.
also a weirdo.
He's weird. He has that weird vibe. You get that weird vibe.
Well,
Phenomenal
he's so
fighter.
intense.
Yeah.
He's so intense, but like he
Gotta
does
get
like
new
a
glasses.
Wing Chun and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And he does all these weird moves where he's like flowing on the ground and
Yeah.
rolling around. He does a lot of weird shit. But his endurance is off the charts. He cuts a shitload of weight and does it like a professional.
Mexican descent. You can capitalize on that.
And he wins by knockout. And he also wins
He's
by
exciting as
submission.
shit.
Very exciting.
Look at the guys he's beat too.
You know,
If you had to guess what's next, what would you think?
it'll be a rematch. That's I think it will be that. Now, I'll be getting torn apart on Twitter. He doesn't deserve this and this guy's. I'm only saying what I think. But is it going to be someone else? Will it be, is Tony going to, I don't really know. But that's what I see him talking about, so that's how my mind is.
There's another fight that would sell and that would be huge. It would be that. It would be Diaz 3.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just that fight alone. I mean, there's the history between those two guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be...
And it's so appealing stylistically as well, the fight,
Yeah.
Like, I'm a grappler at heart. I love grappling. But I also understand that a jiu-jitsu tournament will put people to sleep, Even if you're into jiu-jitsu, it's hard to watch a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yes.
But anybody can see a punch hitting someone in the head and then falling down. That's, that's exciting. And him and Diaz is such a great personality matchup. It's such a great skill clash. If I was to design somebody that's going to bring the best out of corner, you'd want someone that, can hit back and take a big shot and put up at the trash. It's a beautiful fight. I would love to see that rematch.
Yeah, the thing about Diaz when they first fought was that he didn't give a fuck about trash talk. It didn't bother him at all. It was normal.
Yes.
It was like, oh, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah,
You know,
it was brilliant.
It was amazing. It was what everybody wanted to see at the time. It's because Conor was so good at talking shit, and people would get so flustered. But then Diaz didn't give a fuck, and you could tell he didn't give a fuck. It was just so normal for him, and it was like, wow, trash talk doesn't work on Diaz.
Yeah,
it really doesn't work.
Yeah, like I'd known about some of his training partners, and he's like Conor, like in the gym. He's trash talking his brother.
Yeah.
He's trash talking whoever he's sparring. It's because it's fun, and it's always just when we have Conor having a big spar, the gym will be packed down. Everybody wants to come down and see him spar, and you see, he's talking to the guy the whole way through, whether it's a close friend like Artem or whether it's someone we brought in that he doesn't know. It's not going to change him, I certainly don't spar him, but I'll roll him. So if he trash talk me when I'm trying to do my jiu-jitsu, shut up, William. But it's his personality. Like in Dublin, where he's from, there was always that guy in the class that was just sharp wit, that had the quick reply. And from the moment I met him, he was just that guy that's like, fuck, you can't make a tiny mistake around him. You make you feel stupid very quick, I've been on the end of it.
Yeah.
But I remember that guy in school as well. And it just happens that he has a lethal left hand on top of that.
Yeah.
And then he has the look, and he's just an unusual package that it all came together. So I don't, the build up for Diaz too. He didn't stop. It wasn't like he was going, oh, well, I hope I don't lose this time. And, he went in with the same kind of mindset he had. And I've no doubt he would go into that fight as fully prepared as we can. And he'd be 100% sure in his mind he's going to destroy him in a round, because that's how he always thinks.
If